Hello student, let us continue chapter number 9. So today we are going to discuss our next topic, that is revolt of 1857 in Gujarat. Gujarat played a very important role in the revolt of 1857. Now the beginning of the revolt. The revolt was first started in Ahmedabad by the 7th Battalion of Army in June 1857, but it was crushed soon. Now the scattered incidents of revolt were seen in Panchmahal, Dahod, Jalod and Godhra in July 1857. Common people, with the help of soldiers, captured the offices of the company, but at the end they were defeated by the British Army. The revolt in Panchmahal district, carried out by the Naikada, continued for almost one whole year. Local people also took part in the revolt in Patan, Kheralu, Bhilodi, Mudeti, etc. of North Gujarat. The people of Chandap village, 16 miles away from Idar, accepted the leadership of Nathji and Yamaji and joined the revolt. Now, revolt by Garbat Das Patel. Garbat Das Patel, the village chief of Anand in Kheda district, collected a force of 2,000 people consisting of Kohlis, Bhils, Naikada, etc. and started revolt with the help of Jiva Bhai, the Thakur of Khanpur area of Ahmedabad, Malaji Joshi and Krishna Das Dave. All these leaders fought very bravely with the British. At last, the supporters of Garbat Das were caught and were shot dead through a cannon, while Garbat Das was thrown away from India and imprisoned in Andaman, where he died. Now, the most courageous fight back. There is a village called Nandana located between Okha, Mandal and Barudi. There was a camp of British soldiers in this tiny village. The Navy Commander-in-Chief of this camp, Donovan, became impatient. He wanted to teach a lesson to all the local revolutionaries. So on 4th October 1857, he reached the bay near Bet Dwarka with his soldiers early in the morning. He was exactly in front of the fort of Bet Dwarka. He gave orders for firing the fort. The Wagher people inside the fort did not have any modern war technology to fight back. So the female of the community found a way out. The fort was being fired continuously. The women brought heavy mattresses from their houses, wetted them and came to the fort. They asked men to fight with weapons while they, the women, would take care of the firings by making these wet mattresses as their shields. This would give protection to the man against the firing. This wonderful act was done by Wagher females. It had never happened in the history of the world before. The bravery of the Wagher women is compared to the acts of Rani Lakshmibai. Now, refuse to Tatia Tope. Gujarat has contributed to the revolt by giving refuge to Tatia Tope and his soldiers for 15 days in the Panchmahal district Tatya Tope hid himself to escape from the British. But when the British reached him in Panchmahal also, he had to escape towards the forest of Banswara in Rajasthan. Thus, Gujarat played a major role in the revolt of 1857. Now, end of the revolt. During the revolt, weapons and soldiers were supplied to the Britishers from England, Iran, etc. The revolt had started on 10th May 1857, but by the end of the June 1857, the Britishers were able to regain control on Banaras and Allahabad. Kanpur was recaptured by the end of the July and Delhi in September 1857. Bahadur Shah Zafar and his queen Begum Zinat Mahal were imprisoned and exiled to Rangoon, the capital of Burma, where they died after few years. Their 3 sons were murdered. Lucknow was recaptured in March 1858. Jhansi fell because of the treachery of one of the courtiers of Jhansi. As a result, Lakshmibai escaped towards Kalpi, where she died while fighting a battle with the British troops. Nana Sahib Peshwa escaped to Nepal after the final defeat. It is believed that he lived in the Shihor village of Bhavnagar, district of Gujarat, where he is believed to have died in the year 1902. It is said that Tatya Tope was captured due to the betrayal of one of his allies. According to the official documents, Tatya Tope was hanged on 18th April 1859. However, as per the other sources, we come to know that Tatya Tope had managed to escape and someone else was hanged in his place. It is believed that he had spent the last years of his life in Navsari. Now, why was the revolt a failure? Now, the revolt of 1857 failed because of the following reasons. First one, lack of coordination. There was lack of coordination in the revolt. The war was fought under local leadership and without proper coordination and central leadership. Due to insufficient resources, the arms and forces could not be sent on time at the place of need. Second was lack of planning. The revolt started before the date fixed for it, and so the entire planning went wrong. Also, the British got alert and took timely measures to crush the revolt. Now, the third one, lack of unity. Due to regional diversities, people lacked nationalism, and so many rulers during the revolt either supported the British or remained neutral. The feeling of nationalism, awareness of belonging to one nation, and love for India on the whole was not developed due to regional diversities. Now, the fourth one, lack of support. The revolt was strong only in certain region of North India, and so it did not get proper support overall. Many social workers did not support the revolt. This showed that the newly emerged educated class was not interested in the revolt. To add to this, the Sikh and Gurkhas fought on the British side. Instead of fighting for India, they supported in defeating the rebels. Now, the fifth one, lack of amenities. The British arms and army was powerful compared to that of the rebels. Compared to the army of the rebels, the army of the British in terms of soldiers, weapons and chieftains was superior. Now, sixth one, lack of single motive. The leaders of the revolt that fought with the British fought to regain their power, lost power, rather than drive them away from the country. Different leaders had different motives. As a result, they did not fight for the whole country, and thus the revolt failed. Owing to the reasons listed above, the revolt failed miserably. Now, effects and the consequences. The revolt was not successful against the Britishers. However, it still ushered in a new era of change. Company rule came to an end in India, and India came under the rule of the crown. The interference in the internal affairs of the princely states of India was stopped. The British government was compelled to change its policies towards India. The salary, allowances and facilities given to the Indian soldiers or sipais were increased. This revolt helped in evoking a feeling of nationalism in the people of India. Now, student, I hope you have understood this chapter. Thank you.